Hello again and welcome back to Citizen AI, the platform where we speak truth to power. This is a short video. And we're hearing reports that 26th of May has been set as a date where they're going to have a provisional ruling for the case for against the election, particularly on the issue of the Shettima, Tinubu Shettima judgment. Set for the 26th of May. You will recall Shettima was, I think going for senatorship and vice presidential role, and that should not be allowed to happen. So they're going to discuss that. So let's listen.
President-elect, the PDP had on July 28, 2022, filed a suit claiming that Shettima's nomination to contest the position of vice president and Borno Central senatorial seat at the same time contravened the law. The party further sought an order to disqualify the APC, Tinubu and Shettima from contesting the presidential election, as well as nullify their candidacies. Well, as many Nigerians look forward to the court date, investigative journalist David Hundeyin took to Twitter to claim that Tinubu is working very hard to stop the judgment. Let's take his tweet. Well, David Hundeyin wrote, "Information reaching me now from an insider is that Tinubu is trying to lean to Buhari to declare a public holiday on Friday, 26 May, which is the date the Supreme Court is supposed to deliver the judgment that could disqualify him." I mean, Dr. Abati, David Hundeyin went further to state that, more information that Tinubu had gotten about 100 million, naira or something like that to bribe the Supreme Court justices. But we know that David Hundeyin has been investigating Bola Ahmed Tinubu for a while. He has, brought out documentaries, reports, and all that. I don't know what you make of that story.
Well, I don't want to deal with allegations or speculations.
No, the story of the May 26th.
Yes. When a court says it's reserving judgment, it means that it will still give the judgment at a later date.
Yeah.
Hence, the Supreme Court, their lordships, have chosen May 26th, which is 3 days. So people are likely to have anxiety and say, just 3 days to the inauguration. Have we not been presented with a fair complaint? But you recall the case of Lion and Diege,
So we're not going to go too much into that. Anyway, I just want to just get a flavor of what's being said. So PDP have taken the case to court. This is regard actually over the case of Shettima, Tinubu Shettima, and the fact of Shettima sort of having, going for two positions of, I think, senatorship and vice president, and on the basis of that, PDP asking for the case to be thrown out, that kind of thing. But let's forward to the piece where they talked about protests. But I wanted you to see that as well. Let's have a look.
The judgment was given by the court just a day before swearing in, before inauguration. And so if the court says the court, is at liberty to take its own decisions. But, ordinary Nigerians will say, that's too close. Presidential election, or maybe this is an attempt to dodge. The second matter, of course, is that the point of law that is before the Supreme Court here will be local standing. Because that was the ruling of the three-man panel when the matter came up at the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal, I think it was led by Justice Nyang Ekwa, ruled that, look, the matter lacked merit because, the petitioners lacked locus. Locus is your right to bring the matter, your capacity to bring the matter, and it's as important as jurisdiction. But now that the matter has gone all the way to the Supreme Court, at issue is Section 39, Section 35, and Section 84, Sub 1 and Sub 2 of the Electoral Act. So it's the Supreme Court, that will now look at it and decide whether the Court of Appeal erred in law, whether it arrived at its ruling par incuriam or not. But the justice system, gives you the freedom to go all the way, to the apex court to push your rights. Because the matter is already before the court, and their lordships are looking at it. We cannot go further than this. Otherwise, whatever we say will be considered subjudicial.
Absolutely. Well, in the meantime, protests have rocked the Federal Capital Territory as supporters of the president-elect, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, led by Asari Dokubo, stormed the Presidential Election Tribunal.
This Abuja will go past high school. We don't fight us. We are the people of Niger Delta. Tinubu now votes. We don't vote for Tinubu. Anything what I want to better do. Tinubu be our president. We do what's done. They don't vote for Tinubu. We don't give them
Tinubu. Well, supporters of the Labour Party's presidential candidate, Peter Obi, also held a peaceful protest at the tribunal court and called for their stolen mandate to be returned.
Excuse me a minute, please. Just need to deal with this particular one. We don't need that there. And I was watching for it, but obviously it's slid through somehow. So 1 minute. You see it come up in a minute. Just want to just put it back up there, sorry. So that's the Labour Party supporters for LP, Labour Party. So let us see how this works. I don't know, we'll see.
Rufai, over to you. As you see here, Nigerians are coming out in mass, you know, the whole interaction that is happening right now, it is quite amazing to see. I mean, we see people from Niger Delta for Tinubu, and then Peter Obi, I was quite surprised to see their supporters out there.
Right of protest is free in the Nigerian constitution. People have a right to protest, be it Asari Dokubo protesting for, Tinubu, or be it, the people protesting in favor of Peter Obi. Everybody has a right to protest as long as it is peaceful and doesn't impinge on the rights of the other person. But protesting, yes, they can have their own part, but most importantly, it is the court that will rule. And the Nigerian judicial system should understand that there's scrutiny on them. And that's why a lot of us were calling to be able to see the telecast of the judgment and the proceedings live. But it is sad now that the court has raised against it. They said there's no law on ground for that. But what I had problems with was that obiter, which I thought was insensitive to the pains of a lot of Nigeria when you were likening the case to O.J. Simpson and the like. No. The Nigerian court should, by extension, should go and look online, on YouTube, is still there, the full proceedings of election petition in Kenya. All right? Because you know why I said they should look at it? Mahmoud Yakub, I remember, especially said one of these digitization of INEC they are doing was learned from Kenya. In fact, Mr. Mike Guinea constantly said they used to go and learn how the digitization happens in Kenya, because Kenya first digitized the election process. So maybe our legal systems, we should go and learn from Kenya how you can make things in public glare for public scrutiny to be the order of the day. And it's a pertinent national issue. Oputa panel, because of the severity of the national issue, was put live on television. When Nelson Rwahisha Mandela came in South Africa, when he brought about the Truth and Reconciliation panel, it was shown live on television. So a personal national issue like this could be shown live. But you see, our laws know better. They have ruled in the favor. But people have a right to protest out of court as long as they are peaceful.
Absolutely.
But to a large extent, a lot of Nigerians will still have love case where they can see live. Maybe going forward, we can put such a provision on our jurisprudence so that there can be public accountability across board.
All right. Well, I wanted to...
When, their lordships refer to O.J. Simpson and Oscar Pistorius, although I've not read the full length of the ruling, it was reported that the petitioners themselves raised the example of O.J. Simpson and Oscar Pistorius in their petition. And maybe that's why...
It was a false equivalence. There was no cogent argument.
That's what the lawyers put before the court. Maybe that's why their lordships felt compelled to address that. However, even if they did not, they could just have stayed with the points of law.
Yeah.
But the report says that was originally used as example in the petition.
And if it was originally used by the petitioners, I think it was not a strong enough ground. The petitioners could have used a ground like the Kenya Election Petition Tribunal, which is out there. You put up, and those were strong enough grounds. Not mentioning O.J. Simpson's and
All right. Well, let's now switch gears. I want to talk to you about this.
So, so there we have it. I just wanted you to listen to all of what was said there. Most important thing is that people have the right to peacefully protest, be it for Tinubu or for the party. I'm for whichever one, but we know that the likelihood is that Tinubu is going to be the president. But the whole situation just shows how tenuous our democracy is when everything is really up in arms and people are having to protest and go to courts and everything else. We should really do things the right way. And the system, the fact that our constitution is flawed is what has left the door open for all manner of transgressions to take place. And we need to address that collectively. In the end, I still believe that we need a referendum for the peoples of Yoruba Nation, Biafra Nation, Middle Belt, and other people to decide if they still want to be part of this. That's where you come in. Your participation on a daily basis in your government is essential. Question them on the amount of money meant for your local government. Where is those funds? Question them on the fact of on the fact that the constitution is flawed. When you start participating, you have more power to now ensure that the people who are going to represent you will table the motion that you are actively supporting, which is to have a referendum. Those are the kind of things I want us to talk about. I hope you found it beneficial. What are your thoughts on this? What's likely to happen on the 26th of May? Is it going to be a bank holiday that they want to do so that nobody comes out? Or, I mean, how do you see this playing out? Leave your thoughts, leave your comments. You're watching Susan Ewa, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'll back later on. Thank you and bye for now. Bye for now.